Employees seem to walk around with three questions on their mind. Where am I going? How am I doing? And what's in it for me? Actually, positive reinforcement, feedback systems can answer these questions for them.
The critical element is positive reinforcement.
All of us think we're people experts, and really we're not. We all go our separate ways and fly by the seat of our pants in dealing with people. And yet it's the most important thing we do in business, and it's the one we've given the least amount of attention to.
There he goes. There he goes. Thank you. Come on. Oh. Come on. Come on. Oh, there's a big baby.
A smile, a nod, an encouraging remark can have a powerful effect on the behavior of a person.
John, come on. Come on.
You could do.
The practice of positive reinforcement is common, natural, and often spontaneous. Yet it can significantly modify the behavior of people.
Hi. Hi. Atta boy.
That's beautiful. Thanks.
Hey, that's really good work.
Why, thank you.
It looks beautiful. You're doing a real good job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. It looks really gorgeous.
Here we have another beautiful Rose Parade day. And in the lead comes afloat Soaring Dreams, built by 1,400 student volunteers.
The use of positive reinforcement occurs in everyday life. In a sense, whether unconsciously or not, we are all, in varying degrees, behavior modifiers. In recent years, the conscious, systematic, and scientific practice of behavior modification has come into widespread use with dramatic results. In schools, hospitals, and other institutions, the use of behavior modification has significantly influeed and improved the behavior of people.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 check marks I'm going to give you, Ethan. That's really very good.
Does that one go there? I think it does. Very good. Let's give you another mark. Very good.
Today, some of the most startling successes are taking place in the world of management. The 3M Company, as an example, has implemented behavioral programs into more than 20 of its 80 plant communities, resulting in increased productivity, quality, and savings of $3.5 million in 1 year alone. The city of Detroit, in a 2-year program with its sanitation workers, saved more than $1.5 million, increased worker productivity, and was able to return an annual bonus of $350 to over 1,000 of its employees. In organizations large and small, public and private, in Europe and the United States, behavior modification programs emphasizing positive reinforcement have increased productivity, savings, and employee satisfaction. This success represents great strides by management in understanding human performance, though this was not always the case long ago.
Who are you?
Scrooge. I am the ghost of Christmas future. Come, before it's too late.
Too late? For what?
Take a good look. What an uninspired lot. What is your mismanagement and greed costing? Look at the dedication of Bob Cratchit. Do you appreciate such loyalty? Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
What's that?
Take heed. What will happen if you continue your ways?
Greatly relieved it was all a dream, Scrooge reforms his ways.
You've done great work, Bob. Many thanks. Take 2 days off. Give your family a nice Christmas.
While the awakening of Scrooge may have been due to the ghost, today, management's understanding of human behavior has largely been through science research. In the early 1900s, behavioral scientists began probing the question of learning and human behavior. In laboratory studies, the Russian scientist Pavlov demonstrated that learning was a result of a stimulus-response pattern. Later scientists, such as Edward Thorndike and John Watson, contributed to the understanding by stressing the scientific value of studying objective behavior and the importance of reinforcement on learning. The greatest impact has come with the work of B.F. Skinner. His fundamental concept that behavior is shaped and reinforced by consequences in the environment, and the earlier theories, became embodied in the principles of behavior modification.
Now, what behavior management really is, when you boil it down into its simplest component, it's just a systematic, data-oriented approach to people problems. That's all.
Today, with continued high turnover, absenteeism, and poor quality work, management is turning to this scientific understanding to solve performance problems.
Let's take a systematic approach, get some data, and find out what works and what doesn't.
Dr. Aubrey Daniels is an authority on the use of behavior management in business and government.
I'm often asked, why do people do what they do? Why do people act like they do? Why do people do crazy things? Of course, most of us have been taught to answer that question by going inside somebody's head. If I live with my wife 100 years, and I hope I do, I'll never be able to know what's going on inside her head. The only way I know her is by how she behaves. So what behavior management does, and its starting point, is to say, let's look at what people do, and then we'll see what happens to them when they do it. And that's exactly what that means. Behavior is a function of its consequences. People do what they do because of what happens to them when they do it. When a behavior occurs, there are basically three kinds of consequences. Something can happen that you like, a positive consequence. Something can happen that you don't like, or a negative consequence. And then something can happen that really is neither positive nor negative. Whenever you do something and a positive consequence follows it, that's the behavior that's going to be strengthened. A lot of people think that punishment solves problems. It doesn't. All punishment does, at its best, is to buy you a little time. Properly used, negative consequences do have a place. But the effect of punishment is to stop behavior temporarily. Whereas positive reinforcement strengthens behavior at an increasing rate. A lot of times we don't understand the real task that, say, a frontline supervisor has in getting performance to change. And we think that it's a relatively simple thing to do. And we hear about positive reinforcement, and people say, well, sure, I'll reinforce people. You know, I remember last year I told this guy that, he did a good job. Well, that basically has no impact. Positive reinforcement needs to occur on a daily basis, several times a day, not once a year. The positive reinforcer that's most effective costs us nothing. We've already paid for it. It amounts to social reinforcement. And that is making sure that people get recognition, some positive feedback in a personal way about what they do.
If someone does not have reinforcing capabilities or characteristics in their behavior now, how do you go about teaching them to be more reinforcing socially?
Practice. We have workshops designed for that very purpose because we found a long time ago that we underestimated how difficult it was to put this into practice. There are many managers that literally have never told anybody that they appreciate their work. And that brings me to the point of a concept called shaping. If we've got an employee or a group of employees that are performing at this level and standard is here, we want to get them up there. How are we going to do it? We reward improvement.
You know something? You're really doing a good job.
You can never go wrong rewarding improvement, no matter how small. You've got to make sure, though, you've got improvement. Now, frankly, I think that's the fastest way to solve performance problems. Not the slowest way. It seems slow. Because what I'm saying to you is, if this is the level of performance, if the next day a person responds at that level, that's good. That's good. You're doing better. Thank you. You say, well, now, wait a minute. This is 69%. And we want them, our standard is 92%. You mean to tell me you're satisfied with 69.5 or 70%? No, I'm not about to tell you that. But I am saying that it's better. And if the person is reinforced for that, what's going to be the next day? Or what's more likely to happen the next day? Further improvement. What typically happens is an accelerating curve that goes like that. And the job of the manager at this point is to make sure that we reinforce every time an improvement occurs. You really don't know how lucky you are to be here, because I'm going to tell you now how to solve all your problems. The first step in solving any problem from a behavioral perspective is to pinpoint the problem. The concept that is the hardest for us to teach is pinpointing. And that is being specific about the problem. Getting behavior down to something that is measurable. Something that I can know exactly what it is, and you can know what it is. So in all of the programs, I think one thing that should characterize a behavior management program would be the use of graphed data. Now, once you've got it down to that point, then the third point is to make sure that you do something different. I can't always tell you what the best positive reinforcer is. You know, I don't know. But what I do know is that most of the time, we're going to need to do something different. You'd be surprised how many people want to solve the problem by doing the same thing harder. If you pinpoint, record, change the consequences, and that doesn't work, go back and change the consequences a second time. And that doesn't work. Change them a third time, and in over 95% of the cases, you'll be successful.
We're just about to get into the program, and I was wondering what affect the skepticism of the operators.
Yes.
When they become aware that this is a new program.
Right.
And everybody's personalities change, the supervisors, the managers.
Right.
And to what degree does this have on the impact of the program?
There may be some initial skepticism. And I think that the point that we need to say to them is that we're not doing anything behind anybody's back. That we want to make sure that everybody understands that it's an all up-front program. So that if somebody says, hey, what are you doing? Tell them. You know, just tell them.
Among the managers is Ken Shepard, plant superintendent for the 3M Company's Mincom division, which manufactures recording products. The division is implementing a behavior management program. A first step is a plant-wide performance assessment. Dr. Daniels and his associates at Behavioral Systems conduct an evaluation of the existing management practices that affect the performance of all employees. Through questionnaires and interviews with supervisors, employees, and managers, and an analysis of plant data, a performance assessment is produced that outlines recommendations for improving the plant's management system. The decision is then made to embark on a plant-wide training program that will involve both employees and supervisors in mastering the skills of behavior management. The goal, to improve performance in quality, service, and cost, and to implement a behavior by objective program through the impact of a positive style of management.
Let's just state that as a truism. Everyone will work towards recognition. Now, what about the guy, is there ever a case when you try to recognize someone and you follow these dimensions and it doesn't work? Has that ever happened? Where you go up there and say, geez, your improvement is up, I'm really pleased with it, you're helping me out, I want to sincerely say thank you. And the guy says, so what?
Andy Morency, a behavioral consultant, is assigned to implement the program. Its success depends on the active participation of all, from the plant manager, Bill Hitz, to the frontline supervisors, and the newly appointed in-house behavior manager, Donna Kimber.
Okay, let's have you just recap the graph with the employee. Andy being the employee, you're learning a testing operation, Andy, and this is going in a desirable direction.
All right. Morning, Andy. How are you?
Morning, Gil. Fine,
How'd it go
thank you.
yesterday?
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, let's see. Let's take a look.
In addition to learning the principles of behavior management, an important part of the classroom sessions is learning interpersonal skills, how to communicate, how to be sensitive, how to reinforce socially through the practice of behavior rehearsals.
I really believe that you can do it. You know, I've done this much so far.
Yeah, and that wasn't too bad.
It's just really great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, let's take a look at it. Andy, if you were an employee and Gil did something like that to you, how would you feel?
Great. Cloud 9.
He did it as far as you're concerned, that was good.
Sure.
Okay, why don't you guys sit down, we'll pull out another one, but let's just get a couple of seconds of feedback. What did Gil do that was right? Did he come across as being sincere?
Yes.
What are the little bitty cues that tell you when somebody's sincere? What does he do, Andy, when he talks to you?
Oh, he wasn't, he was serious. He wasn't, yeah.
Good, very good. He was serious, wasn't he? Usually, when someone is very sincere, they're very comfortable, right? It didn't seem like a chore for you to reinforce Andy at all. The important part of this is for the individual himself. What is that doing for the individual? Now we're talking right about the interpersonal level, the guy on the floor working. What's the benefit of this to him?
Morning, Jim.
Morning.
Hey, looks like you're doing pretty good.
The real test of the program is its effectiveness on the floor, in the departments where employees and supervisors interact.
Say, Gil, want to talk?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something.
A key element of the program is one-on-one. The behavioral consultant works directly with the supervisor on the floor, where impact on employees' performance is greatest.
Now, what I'd pinpoint would be module assembly, test, unit assembly, and unit test, okay?
Would that be a different pinpoint for each of the different locations?
Yes, that's
okay,
right.
Very good, very good.
Gil Garez, supervisor of the final assembly department, puts into practice the behavior management approach by pinpointing, collecting data, measuring performance, graphing, and evaluating in order to give feedback and reinforcement at appropriate times.
Well done. But Gil, we only did 88%.
Well, let me explain that to you. If you look at December 7th, we had parts. Production is just fantastic. What happens, we run out of parts. So you can't expect 100% production without any parts. So what I'm telling you basically is that you and the people, I'm telling you that you did a good job. Well, good morning.
For the next few months, supervisors in all departments are involved in putting behavior management into practice.
Excuse me, Charlotte, could I talk to you for a moment? Yes, Jane. Are there any changes on the 51?
Okay, I'd like to thank you for helping me with this graph. up the good work, Rick. Looking good.
A final step is to involve all employees in the program. Their reinforcement of management is as important as management's reinforcement of them. The behavior management program at MINCOM is a success, reflected in a dramatic improvement of up to 50% in many areas of performance, and in the reactions of everyone involved.
You're not afraid to go up to them and tell them your problem if you have one, because they seem to be more understanding.
They know how to talk to you better when you have a problem or when you have something to say, something on your mind.
I think their questions and their freedom to come up and talk to me about it would show a definite improvement in morale. And then the charts that show the improvement in production very definitely.
I think the morale is a lot higher.
I'm from the old school where the foreman was the bull of the woods. In a way, I'm glad that doesn't exist anymore.
I've got bad habit sometimes and I open my big mouth before I really should. Now I get back and I think I take a longer look at situations.
Does it make a difference? Yeah.
We believe that the behavioral management program will be a significant contributor to this being our turnaround year for 3M in this division. We feel that we are on the brink of really making major strides and improving our profit picture.
Despite the proven success of behavior modification, the subject still creates criticism with charges of big brotherism and unethical control, popularized by films like Clockwork Orange and 1984. The heroes in both films are unwillingly subjected to aversive punishment until their behavior is altered as their tormentors wish.
I'm especially concerned about a real regard for the dignity and autonomy of the person, of the whole person. My main concern is who's controlling and who's evaluating and reviewing the ethics and values and goals and purposes of the people that are doing the behavior modification. I would feel very positive and supportive of behavior modification when it's used where the people receiving it really want it, where they're struggling with some problem or are trying to reach some goal that they have determined and they've maybe asked for or initiated the request, or at least feel very positive about the purpose of the program.
For organizations open to understanding the principles of behavior modification, there are bottom-line payoffs, even in less traditional businesses. Valley Fair in Minnesota is the first of the nation's theme parks to introduce a precise performance feedback system.
We know at Valley Fair that a park is only as good as its people. We decided early before the park opened that we needed a positive feedback system. We know that we want two things to happen with all our guests and employees here this year. First of all, we want our guests to have a successful visit while they're here, and we want you to recognize how well you're doing for us this summer on a daily basis.
To do this, the park gives nice going awards and fuzzy tickets in recognition of good performance. The employees, as well as management, are awarded tickets based on 4 specific behaviors that directly affect the enjoyment of guests: friendliness, service, park cleanliness, and show. The tickets are later redeemable for prizes.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. I mean, the fuzzy thing is really neat.
It seems like you're doing your part in this park. It's just not the big wigs or head cheese that are doing it. It's you.
Oh, it's really neat because you get the prizes that you worked hard for. I love it because I can get fat off it.
The success of the performance feedback system is reflected in bottom-line payoffs. Attendance increased 12%, turnover dropped 30%, and the park is making plans for expansion.
Valley Fair is just like any other business. A theme park is like any other business. It's got problems like absenteeism and turnover and low performance. And these are factors that directly affect the loss or the making money of a business. So that to utilize a total performance system means to optimize or maximize the opportunity for the business to do as well as it can.
innovative use of behavior modification has reached even big-time professional sports. The Minnesota Vikings have introduced a performance feedback and positive reinforcement system. The offensive unit is evaluated on 20 variables which bear directly on the offensive team effort. The team gets feedback and reinforcement on the variables. Perfect performance in 11 or 12 usually leads to a winning effort.
I think behavior management is the finest tool that we have available to us today to help increase productivity in the workforce and industry. I also think it's got great application for anybody managing anything. That could be in sports, it could be in government, or whatever.
Gridiron, in the office, or in the plant, positive reinforcement is a powerful tool for successfully managing human performance.
Mm-hmm.